welcome to Stemless Podcast. Nicole's not here; she's on vacation. But we have Chris. He's one of my favorite MMA fighters ever. And so he's gonna tell. He's actually from around here. He's from Fort Pierce, born and raised around here, right?
Yes, yeah, born and raised Fort Pierce.
So he's a good old boy.
Yeah.
And to tell us about is how where the boxing came from and
So,
from the beginning.
from the beginning, that's a long, long time ago.
Says the baby.
My brother actually boxed when I was younger. He's probably like 7 years older than me, so he first got into boxing. It was the first time I ever saw it. I was probably like 3 or 4. And then growing up, I always played team sports, football, baseball, something like that. And then one time, him and I were actually playing, I think PlayStation 2. We were playing Fight Night on PlayStation 2, and I beat him. And I was like, I think I understand how to box. So, which I didn't understand how to box. I just knew how to play the video game. So that like piqued my interest in it. And then growing up in the 90s, watching all the 90s boxers, my mom was a big Oscar De La Hoya fan. And then being from Florida, I was a big Roy Jones Jr. fan. So just always had an interest in boxing. And then after I graduated high school, I moved back down to Fort Pierce because I had moved to North Florida for like 3 years to go to high school. When I moved back down, I realized there was a gym in the old Vero Beach Mall. It was, at the time, it was American Top Team Vero Beach.
Oh.
And I joined up there. So I joined up there the summer after I graduated high school. So I was like 18 or 19 when I started training like jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, boxing full time.
And how old are you now?
I'm 29.
29. Still a baby.
So 10 years in the game. That's at the recent fight I just had, everyone kept saying, wow, 10 years in the amateur, 10 years in the amateur. It's a long time. And I was like, yeah, well, you got to hone your skills.
Yes. So tell us about your amateur career. How did you get started? What was your first fight?
So, yeesh, I gotta think. 10 years ago is a long time now when you're thinking about it. Originally, it was some of my buddies from North Florida in high school. They had found out this guy was putting on a promotion in Gainesville, MMA promotion. And they knew I had been training, so they jumped on it and they asked if I wanted to fight on there too. So I had gotten in contact with the promoter at the time. I was living back down here, so I told my gym, American Top Team Vero, that I wanted to fight, and they had set it up. Like, my coach came with me. So we ended up fighting in Gainesville. I'm trying to think of the club, what it was called. Maybe Levels in Gainesville. I don't know if it's there anymore. But that was the first fight, and that was in 2015, I think, 2013, somewhere around there. But I've been training for like a year or so, and we went into that first one in Gainesville, and that was the start of it.
That's awesome. And how many fights you did as an amateur? What's your
Amateur,
record?
I had 16 fights. I was 8-6 in MMA and 2-0 in Muay Thai. So a lot of fights. Normally, you see people go pro like 5 fights in the amateur, 6 fights in the amateur. I just knew I had a lot of holes in my game, and I wanted to take tough fights in the amateurs to one, make sure I was ready to make that jump to the pro level, and 2, see where I was strong at and see where I was weak at, so I could work on both.
That's why he is where he's at today. So you had an injury prior to this fight, and you had to postpone your pro debut, right?
Yep, last November we were training for Rise of a Warrior's initial pro card. So it was going to be the first pro fights ever in Fort Pierce, and I was going to be on there. But like maybe a week and a half out, I was doing jiu-jitsu with one of my training partners, and we weren't going hard or anything. It was just kind of a freak accident, you know, a move you do all the time. Just went to stand up and my knee popped. So I think I had a tore something. I didn't go to the doctors or anything. I fucking hate doctors. I don't want to go in there and
Heal
they tell me
himself.
something horrible. Yeah, I'll just, if it doesn't need surgery, it'll be fine. So tried to let it move for like a day or so, but it got really sore, really stiff, and I remember the kid I was gonna fight. One of the things we were gonna watch him. He has a real good low leg kick, and I was like, well, I kind of just damaged the part he's going to probably go after. So a little bit of butterflies. It was my pro debut, hometown.
A lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure. So
Your wife was pregnant.
my wife was like 8 months pregnant at the time. So funny story on top of that, we went to go for her checkup. After I pulled out of the fight, I had already pulled out because of the injury. We went to the fight, I believe was November 19th was the card. November 19th, 2022. So we went in, November 16th for just a routine checkup, like, because the baby was going to be due December 20th, sometime around there, December 5th. Well, baby was due right then. So, well, I was actually, she was in labor November 19th, and then the baby was born November 20th. So, God works in mysterious ways. I just wasn't meant to be on that card.
It all worked out at the end of the day. He has a beautiful wife and a beautiful baby girl.
And I told everybody that's the only fight I've ever pulled out of, and it's because of the birth of my firstborn child. So that's the only time you'll ever see me pull out.
Yeah, and well, and the injury on the knee. But
Yes.
he's even considering to fighting there.
Yeah. Yeah. If it had just been the injury and my kid hadn't been born, I'd probably be like, yeah, all right, let's go for it.
I could do this,
But
right?
once the baby's been born, I was like, all right, this is meant to be. This is a sign, so I'm not trying to fight there.
And you just had an amazing fight. Finally went for his pro card. So how'd that go?
So, I made my professional debut this Saturday for Combat Night in Tallahassee. Long time coming. Like we said, we were going to do it. I think you and I met right around that time, right after my last amateur fight, coming into it. So from like November to now, August, that's 8 or 9 months. I just been telling you, Greta, I got to get back in there. Got to get back in there. In the meantime, I had been doing grappling competitions we'd gotten used to.
He's been working. He's been working at it. He changed his training.
Yep, changed my training.
He's been training, doing more weight training now.
More weight training here at GT Fitness. Working more, like we were talking about, core, lower body, posterior chain. Important muscle groups that are going to serve functionally in a fight.
Correct.
Not just vanity muscle.
Right,
just,
right. Not bodybuilding, more functional training.
Yeah,
and then also a little more food.
More food, definitely keeping a better eye on my diet because I mean I can't speak right now for this week because I've ate everything that's came my way.
Not that he has to worry about his weight, obviously, but he has. We want to maintain that. We talked about it this a lot. Stay within fighting weight, 10 to 15 pounds at the most. So when he does cut weight, he's not so like stranded last minute trying to pull out that weight.
And keeping more muscle on
mass
while I'm coming. So if I can lose weight but still be strong, which I think was a big factor in it. So more protein, more meat, even from pro subs to supplemental shakes, like, you know, just making sure that I had the right type of fuel so I can train harder, train longer. That started making a big difference. I think you saw in the beginning, I got second place in that first grappling competition. I came and I said, Greta, we're going to keep doing it. First, and then the next grappling competition, we got first place, and then it was time for the fight. So we
3 minutes 15 seconds in the first round.
3 minutes, yeah, I
5
think
seconds.
like 3 minutes and like 55 seconds, something like that. I think it was like
Marlon, plus or minus.
Yeah, plus or minus. 3 and some
He
change.
won.
3 and some change. But no, we came in. Just speaking on my physical form, we came in super in shape. Cardio was on point. We worked out here, so everything was looking real well. We studied the opponent a lot. He was dangerous. He was a striker, quick hands. He had knocked out some people cold before, so you know there's a little bit of danger. You want to fight someone dangerous in there to step up your level. You don't want to just go in there and think you're going to walk over somebody, because a lot of times you're going to get caught. So we studied for his game plan, I had a monster training camp with Treasure Coast Cartel, also American Top Team Palm Beach Gardens. We worked specifically on what we wanted to get done, and we worked hard. So when we got up there, we got up there Thursday night, so I was still cutting weight. Horrible. Thursday night was the worst of it all. I had like 2 pounds left, cut it, couldn't sleep, horrible hotel, didn't sleep at all Thursday night. Weighed in first thing Friday morning. They allowed us an early weigh-in at like 10 a.m., so it gave us more time to rehydrate and refuel. They said you can either weigh in at 10 a.m. or 5 p.m. Obviously, I want to weigh in early.
As soon as possible.
Yeah, as soon as possible. Kept eating. Shout out to my corner, Chad Ritter, because I was like, I'm going to go get some fried chicken and this, and he's like, not just yet. Let's eat smart until after the fight. So sticking with what we were talking about. Rehydrating smart, refueling smart, using complex carbs, lean protein, making sure I'm getting my electrolytes back in. So and I was checking my weight, making sure like, okay, we were 145, now we're 148, now we're 152, now we're 155, now we're 157. So we had time to work and build it back up. So we came into the fight, I wouldn't say exactly at 160, probably like between 157, 158, somewhere around there. The fight starts and basically went exactly how we planned the whole camp. The guy had quick hands, he kept a high guard. I worked more kicks than what I thought, just keeping distance, landing strikes, excuse me, and was able to secure the takedown, hit him up top, make his hands come up so he can shoot to the legs, get him down quick. And then once we got the fight to the ground, it's really what I've been working on a lot lately, with all the grappling competitions. So got into mount, hit him with a couple of elbows, which we're not allowed to do in amateur. So, getting used to some of the pro rules, which was nice.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So it's more freedom as far as movements?
Yeah. You don't have to think, when you're going to punch somebody on the ground, you have a lot of range of the motion here. You have to pull back. You have to come here. From when you're elbowing somebody, I can just place my hand on their head. Follow through. So we did that like 3 or 4 times, and then he ended up giving his back. I was able to sink the choke. Like I said, we've been working a lot of grappling in Treasure Coast Cartel lately. So once that choke was in, I could feel it. I was like, this is a wrap. I've trained with pretty high-level grapplers, so I know if I'm doing well or holding my own with them, most of the time, everybody that I see in the cage isn't even gonna come close. So we got to where we wanted to be and executed. It was really like I told everybody from the gym, I was like, that fight was just what we do every day. It was the sequence we do every single day.
Practice what you preach.
Practice what you preach.
Right. And it shows in the ring.
This time I did.
No, you work very hard. I've seen it personally in the past year, almost a year. Well, actually, year.
Yeah. Right around the year.
Yeah.
I think I fought my last amateur fight was July, and then August, so like 12, 13 months. And
he hasn't stopped. He doesn't stop, no matter what. Whether he has to bring his baby girl, and I'm talking baby, or not, he's getting it done. And that's why he is where he's at today.
It's like I told you, I said we got a lot of work to do, and even now we're still just beginning. This is literally just the beginning.
Work in progress.
Work in progress. We have a long way to go, but I gave you my word. I said, listen, you gave me an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And I said, I'm not gonna let you down. We're gonna keep working hard. We're gonna make sure people sees, and then you just gotta. The scariest part is you can work your ass off in the gym, but when it comes time to compete that night, you have to be on. If you're not, it doesn't matter how hard you work, and I was just very thankful that all the training and preparation we'd done here, all the training and preparation I'd done with my coaches and teammates, we were able to bridge that gap from the training room to performance night. I think that's the biggest thing you can do as an athlete, and I think it's the number one thing that when you see a lot of people that are gym killers that don't perform well, I think they have a hard time bridging that gap in between the two.
Right.
So
Right.
you have to really. Sometimes I hear people, it's just another day. It's just another day in the office. It's just another Saturday spar.
Just another,
That's all you have to do. It's a hard spar right now. So.
You get nervous and butterfly before you jump on?
Not this one. No. And here's why. I get nervous when I go train with my teammates because I have such respect and confidence for them. I train with a monster. So I know if I'm not on point or if I've taken a week off or time off or I'm slacking, I'm gonna get my ass kicked in the gym. So I'm more nervous about getting my ass kicked in the gym than I am in the fight. Yeah, because they're not gonna take any. They're not gonna take any shortcuts. Easy. But I love that because you want to see that in the gym. No one's ever paying any attention. 1% of everybody that watches this really knows what's going on.
Right.
No one's watching that in the gym. That's where you need to get your ass beat. That's where you need to make your strides. That's where you need to have your hard days. That's where you need to
learn the mistakes,
learn what you're doing wrong, and work on it. Because you don't want to find that out in
front of everybody.
In front of everybody. How many times have we talked about that? How many times have we talked about
and
that?
we've seen it time and time from different people in different areas where they train really hard and then suddenly they just do whatever they want.
That's it.
On the ring.
You're going to get exposed some way or another. Do you want it in front of the people that care about you and love you and want to help you get better and a small handful of people now? Or do you want it in front of everybody in Average Joe's where it's a bunch of fat drunk people talking shit up in the stands like, that guy sucks? I don't want that. I don't want that. I'd rather get my ass beat in the gym where the least amount of people can see it, and then the people that beat my ass are going to help me fix what I need to fix.
Right.
And then when we go show our skills to the world, it's like, wow, that guy's the truth. Because if you look at my last fight, it was a good performance, and people are going to be like, wow, man, great job.
Yeah.
But you could come see me get my ass beat on a Tuesday night in Port St. Lucie and be like, this kid is
garbage.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Live.
So.
$1 per person.
But no one's going to go see that. So.
You never know.
You got to put in the work where no one's looking if you want to reap the reward where everyone's looking.
Absolutely. 100%. You're 100% correct. So he also does other things. Aside from that, he's a coach here at GT Fitness. He has a group that he works with 3 days a week. It's a company that let him elaborate a little bit about it. It's actually a pretty cool concept, but I'll let him talk about Tribe.
Shout out Tribe Intensive. Florida and New Jersey, because I guess they opened up in New Jersey too.
Congratulations on the new location in New Jersey.
Just taking over the whole East Coast. What Tribe is hopefully I don't butcher this too bad. It's an intensive outpatient recovery center. So people that have gone to like rehab or stuff that are trying to find their way back into society, or have a good footing, have a spot to go while we try to integrate back in and get our lives back together. They, go through Tribe, and they stay at the Tribe House. And I can only speak for what we do here, but I imagine it's like they set them up with, certain activities throughout the day, each day.
In a positive environment.
With positive environment, group meetings to, collaborate, that sort of thing. But what we do here at GT Fitness is they're with us Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 4:30 to 5:30, and we work out hard. We work out hard.
Yeah, they do.
I love the team.
He takes them outside, 100 and something degrees outside, and they train outside. It's actually pretty cool, but they love it.
They love it. They hate it, but they love it. They tell me every time, they say, we want to cuss you out so bad, Chris. But the important thing is they see results. And one, it's for the mental. It's for the mental. Before any physical, I want to say upgrades, but like benefits that you reap, it's for the mental. It's just getting in here, getting an hour, sweating something out, taking your mind off, focusing on one thing. Now we've set up, I think you've seen with a couple people, different goals for somebody. Hey, I lost 5 pounds this way. Hey, I want to build this body part up. I want to build this body part up.
I'm able to pick up my kit now and play with my grandchildren.
I have better cardio.
Right.
Sometimes they'll tell us about like activities they do with Tribe, like kayaking or volleyball tournament. They said, hey man, we did this last month and I was huffing and wheezing. I was over here spiking the ball through everyone's face this time. So it's feelings like that. And also we had a gentleman that was with us before he got out of the program and went back home. He's like, man, I just want to let you know, this gym right now, thank you for opening up, this road to recovery has helped me a lot. And he's kind of a more reserved, quiet guy, so I never really knew what happened, but his last day here, he told me, I was like, okay, that's the positive impact I'm looking for.
That's awesome.
So when you hear something like that, it goes to show, like, I might not always see it, and you might not always know what someone's going through, but we're helping.
Absolutely.
We're moving forward. And on a selfish note, I jump right in and work out with them. I'm like, listen, guys, this is what I want to do, so you got to do it with me. So we're going through this hell. And, man, they are with it every step of the way.
And one of the guys is getting ready possibly to fight next year. He's thinking about it. Maybe.
Yeah, we're getting, we set some goals for him. I think we were trying to set some end-of-the-year weight loss goals to reach there first. You know, we set a soft goal and a hard goal. So hard goal is losing, 20 pounds. So that's definitely the one we'll meet. If we meet the soft goal, which is 40 pounds, great, but we definitely will meet one. And then it starts to, move into, man, I want to train more. Can I do here? Can I do this? Can I do that? Can I do this? It's just, we're a doorway. We're
Become
a doorway.
a good addiction.
That's it. Become a good addiction. We're all addicted to something.
Yeah. And it's instant gratification because then you're doing it for yourself and you're not doing it for your kids or your husband or whatever.
And you can see visual results. When you see visual results, it plays on our human vanity. Like, oh, I'm looking a little bit better now.
Yeah, confidence.
Yes, this is working.
Self-love.
It's hard to know, that something's working on the inside. Of course, how you feel, but when you can see it, it adds another sense. Like, oh, I can actually see the results of what I'm doing.
Well, I can see my
Let's
little
keep it
trip to
going.
Pennsylvania on my belly. Different kind of scene.
Believe me.
Okay.
I don't want to step on any scale after this week. I told everybody I stopped eating today. So from Saturday night at 10 o'clock to Thursday.
Like you around here.
I told everybody. I didn't want to tell everybody what I was eating, but it's been like 2 pizzas, a stromboli, 20 chicken wings, cake, like 3 different cakes, just horrible.
But you would needed it. You would been very strict and very regimental about your. So
I'll eat for like a week. I think today.
He takes a week meal, cheat meal a day, not a one cheat meal.
A cheat week.
It's a week.
A cheat week. You have to, man.
But also it's a week of decompression, regrouping, and
setting it back to ground
reset.
Zero. That's
right.
It. As soon as the fight ended, I told, I think I told you guys too. I said, well, that's done. That doesn't exist anymore.
Moving on.
Win or lose, just doesn't matter. No, we care. No one else cares. No one else cares. You're not gonna. Today, the rent is due. What you did yesterday ain't paying for today.
Correct.
So we got to get the work in today. And it helps. A big thing in this game is momentum. Right now, we got a lot of momentum on our sides. Doing well in the grappling competitions, having a good showing. When you're hot, you're hot. You gotta go.
Just stay nice and warm.
I think we were at that position when we first met last year, and it kind of got halted. Of course, with the baby, so I'm not complaining, but definitely with the injury.
But you continue to train, and there wasn't like, okay, the baby's born, let me take some maternity leave. Right. No, none of that. He was working.
We were working the whole time.
Working the whole time.
You gotta get
here at home, Palm Beach Gardens. Sure. You're all over the place.
I started training more after the baby was born because I was like, well, it's now or never.
Yeah.
You're either gonna not train at all or make this your life. Right. And now I have my daughter looking to me, so I have to set an example. Yes. I have to show her that 2 things. 1, you can accomplish what you set your mind to, and 2, at least for our family, no one's gonna hand you anything.
No one's gonna hand
you. You gotta take it. You gotta take it. And you can't just walk up one day and take it. You got to put in the work. You have to educate yourself. You have to be prepared. Put yourself in the best position possible to take it. People just think, oh, well, I think I can do this, so I'm going to do it. It doesn't work like that. Mm-hmm. It doesn't work like that. You have to think it. You have to work on it, and then it'll come. So as long as I can set a positive example for her, show her that she has something to work to, we'll be good because Lord knows everything else she's learning from me has that kid scarred.
I highly doubt it. You're a beautiful person inside and out. We're very lucky to have him here at GT Fitness. Is there anything else you want to add? Your social media handle, where can people contact you for, even if you want to do training with him? He does private lessons and he does group classes as well. So I'll let him give you his information for contact.
For sure, yeah. Mainly based here, since we are Martin County Steward, but I serve Indian River County, St. Lucie County, Martin County. Like you said, private sessions, group sessions. My Instagram handle is Munchie0508. My phone number is 772-801-8252. That's if you guys want to hit my line to set up the sessions. Like I said, we're here Monday, Wednesday, and Thursdays right now. That's for Tribe, but I can be here anytime anybody needs to be for any sort of sessions. Weightlifting, bodybuilding. I always tell everyone I'm going to Gretta for all the tips on bodybuilding because I don't know too much about that. But cardio, kickboxing, boxing, fitness, big fan of. We ran great classes. If you're scared of working outside, don't worry. We don't have to work outside. We can work in the AC.
All right, well, thank you so much. And I'm sure you'll see more of him everywhere. He's just getting started with his pro career.
November, Fort Pierce, Rise of the Warriors.
So we'll be there for sure.
Yeah.
We love those guys. And Donald said he's going to come sit in the interview room.
He needs to come on.
He is.
That's
what I'm going to drag him.
He'll love it. He's the best. I own more than what I could explain. We'd be sitting here for like 10 hours telling how much I own. But that'll be the next pro show. Combat Night and Rise of Warrior do one in conjunction. So it'll be a pro amateur show. I actually have a young gentleman that actually might start coming here with me to work out. Kind of take him as my next little protege.
Awesome.
See if we can't get him on the amateur, get him his first win, and then keep the momentum rolling because we're not stopping. Well, like I said, we're at a good point right now, but every time I step in here, it's like, Greg, I got a lot of work to do. I want to do more core. I want to do this.
And that's the way to be. And that's how champions are built. It's non-stop. You have to constantly put in the work. You wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, at 4 o'clock in the morning, all sorts of random times. You know what? I got to go. I got to train. I got to get this done.
If you think you're the best, like you're at your best, then you're limiting. It's like, okay, well then that is your best.
Right.
I don't think I've even begun to see anywhere close to my best. And there's a lot of stuff I don't know. How much knowledge have you shared with me? Just for diet, bodybuilding, working out. That applies to, I still got to learn more grappling, more boxing, more kickboxing, more everything. I want to be a sponge and learn it more and more and more and more. And that's what I firmly believe in my heart, that I'm nowhere close to my best.
Would you ever consider bare knuckle fighting?
They better come with a fat bag. fat.
So we just got into the whole bare knuckle. I'm like highly addicted now.
Fat bitch. Oh, actually.
So we watched the fight, and they fight in a triangle.
Yeah.
And it's small. And you can hear. You can hear
it's rough. It is rough.
Savage.
One of my training partners, Steve Tomahawk Townsend from Fort Pierce. We're always repping each other.
Oh, he's coming.
That's my big brother.
He's coming.
That's my big brother.
Might get him with Chris Sara.
I actually think they fought too.
They did. At the Hard Rock.
Yep.
So I want to get him.
Townsend. Shout out Tomahawk boy, Fort Pierce boys for life. So that's my big brother. You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome.
Growing up in Fort Pierce, he understands, I think, more than most, like what we've had to go through. So when it comes to when I talk about walking on that straight and narrow line, he's always like, keep it up, bro. You're doing good. You're doing good. And same to him. He's big time to me.
Oh, he's awesome.
To me, I'm looking at this guy fighting on pay-per-views and national TV. And I was like, shit, man. It's my boy from Fort Pierce.
Fort Pierce is a very small town. Fort Pierce is a very, most of it is very low-income area.
Poverty-stricken.
And it's predominant black.
Yeah.
And white boy over here had to grow up there, and he did it. He made it, and he's made a name to himself. And
yeah, I think Fort Pierce in the '90s was like the crack capital of the United States, and it's also where
a very dangerous area.
Yeah.
Not so much now. It's gotten a lot better.
No,
They've done
yeah,
a lot of
they're
upgrades.
still coming in, but it's still like if you ask anybody around, what's the hardest city around? It's Fort Pierce. No one wants to go to Fort Pierce, and I'm born and raised, and I don't ever want to leave there. So the environment, it's either going to make you or break you. So seeing Steve Townsend, seeing myself, Quentin Bray, he's another one from Fort Pierce.
Good role models to guys like him coming up and
like
growing
us.
up
And
instead
now,
of going a bad direction where you can get into so much trouble and end
where
up dead.
95% of our friends and family are. You know what I mean?
So instead of that, you had this guy who you looked up to and said, you know what, if he can do it, I can do it. And this is mainly why I wanted to do these podcasts with athletes, and it's just to show everybody that it is possible for anyone, whether you're poor or you're rich. It's all in the mindset and what you set your vision to.
Back to the real quick. I'm sorry, I didn't mean touching about the tribe thing. Remember a couple months ago, there was a lot of fentanyl deaths.
That's
around
right.
Fort St.
There was like
Lucie.
a thing going on.
People that have competed with us, trained with us too, fighters. There's like 2 or 3 people that passed away. So when I'm in here, we're all working, and it's the goal is to work out and to get better, to be a better fighter, to be a better whatever it is. But that's for me, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, if that helps someone not go do something or take some fake pill that people are wanting to pass around now for some reason, it's saving a life.
Right. It's setting up a good example.
Yeah.
And even for kids like coming up and growing up in your neighborhood, they can say, you know what, I'm going to look up to this guy because he's doing really good. He's putting his name to him. And he remains humble and one of the most loyal persons out there that I know. He has, since I opened this business, he's had a key, no questions asked. We make deals out of a text message or a handshake. There's no contract. There's, hey, let's do this. Okay, that works out. Hey, let's do this. That works out. Perfect. And that's the kind of relationship with people that I keep in my circle. People that I can trust with literally in my life. I could, say, hey, Chris, you know what? I need you to do this for me. And I know he'll get it done. And I can trust
very
him.
tight circle. Like I said, you gave me an opportunity. I wouldn't let, and I told Tyler too, I was like, man, you guys gave me an opportunity. I'm not going to squander it. And it's not just taking that opportunity and not squandering it. It's let's take this opportunity and shine. Let's do something. Let's make sure that people know this is where the work is being put at. GT Fitness, Stuart, Florida. Come get right. We work out. We have fun.
Yes.
But the work's getting done here.
Yes.
And I think what we were talking about yesterday too, I have a couple people still now, they're like, hey man, about that gym you work at in Stuart, here. So
Yeah.
it's coming.
Couple of MMA fighters.
It's coming.
So, I didn't know anything about MMA and, what it meant until probably mostly for the past year. I went to one of the fights where I saw him win, and I was like, oh my God, you know what? And then he posted this thing on Instagram, and then we connected, and one thing led to the next to a wonderful friendship that we now have.
I think I hit you up. I said, Greta, I quit my job. You said, come work for me.
I was like, what? You come in here. You're not going anywhere. Yes.
No, but it's good to see like around the Treasure Coast too. King's Muay Thai is right across the street here too.
Yes.
I've gone over there and trained.
Yes.
Amazing school. Love them. There's starting to be a sense of community here, a combat community that, we're not big cities like Miami, Tampa,
Correct.
or Orlando, Jacksonville, but we're hard.
But the boxing community and then jiu-jitsu and
Boxing,
Muay Thai,
jiu-jitsu, and MMA, it's tight, it's
actually
solid.
bigger here
It's
than
high
I thought
level.
it was.
That's right.
Yes.
Everyone's starting to come together. So, of course, there's always competitions between the gyms around here, but I like that. I like the Treasure Coast as being, like, oh, you're from Treasure Coast? Damn, okay, you guys got a great gym. You don't have to be a multimillionaire and have all this stuff and be in a big city. No, you just got to have dedicated coaches, dedicated teammates.
And a hell of a community.
A hell of a community. And a willingness to learn. And a willingness to accept criticism, too. Because when I showed you my fight, I was just like, I did this wrong, I did this wrong, I did this wrong, I did this wrong, I did this wrong. So I never want to hear I'm doing good. I can see I'm doing good. let me know when I'm doing bad.
He's doing damn good.
So, I appreciate it.
All right, well, thank you so much, and we'll be back with part 2, 3, 4, 5. You're gonna learn his whole life story through us.
Got a lot.
So it's coming.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.